Andy,
Chef.
where are you from, Andy?
East Coast in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
And your biggest nightmare is the lobster? Have you considered moving to Calgary?
I've practiced a lot of lobsters at this point. That disgusting lobster dish from season 5.
I feel like I'm drinking seawater.
I'm blown away that I served this. The second I got home from MasterChef Canada, I was all in on food. I've worked in kitchens, I've started my own catering company, I've done my own online business. Food is my life now. I'm doing this one for my wife. She has allowed me to chase this dream so hard. We mortgaged our house. She would come to dinners with me and serve. She would babysit our girls when I would go out to do gigs. I think a lot of the confidence that I have now, both as a man and as a cook, comes from her support. So this time I am 100% doing it for her.
So what are you gonna do with that lobster?
We have a butter poach going here. We're gonna do a really deep, beautiful, smoky cream sauce. I've got some dill oil, I've got some buttermilk biscuits. You would never have a lobster without a biscuit back home.
I see the confidence. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I blanch the lobster, I take it out and start breaking the shells off. And I notice the lobster is still super raw. I just have to get that lobster into the butter and just heat it up very gradually. I'm starting to freak out a little bit.
Andy, please bring up your dish.
All that's going through my head is, Andy, did you overcook that lobster? Did you? So today I made a lobster and smoked oyster chowder with a buttermilk biscuit.
That certainly is a buttermilk biscuit. It's huge. The presentation of the dish, great quantity of lobster in there, absolutely exquisite. Look at that, dripping with all that goodness. The lobster is spot on. This has great sophistication, great flavors, great balance. It really is a dish that I'd expect to eat at a restaurant.
Well, thank you, chef.
Well done, Andy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Red team, you won the team challenge. Normally, that would mean that you get a fast pass to the gallery, but this season, that won't be the case. At least, not for all of you.
Tonight, one member of the winning team will also compete in the pressure test.
What?
And Jeremy, as captain of the winning team, it's up to you to decide who it's going to be.
Oh my God. That sucks.
This is devastating. I don't want to leave any of my team behind. We all did so well. That's the last thing I want to do.
Taya, what would you do if you were in his shoes?
That's a tough call, Chef. I mean, we all did really well in the challenge. Perhaps pick who struggled the most. I'm not sure. Please don't pick me, please. Please, please, please.
Christopher.
I think all of us cooks are back to win this time. So if it were me, I'd send the person I thought was the strongest on my team into the pressure test.
Absolutely. Smart.
Marissa,
At this point in the game, it comes down to strategy. If you want to see the best go in and prove themselves.
Andy.
I think Jeremy is a very strong competitor, so I see there is a world where Jeremy does put himself in there to prove that he is the best in the competition.
All right, Jeremy, it's time for you to make a very tough decision. You could choose the weakest link or your biggest threat. Or you could take Andy's advice and just choose yourself.
Oh, man.
So, who's it gonna be?
Obviously, I'm back to win. I'm not going to put myself in the line of fire. I have 2 runner-ups on my team. So I'm going to take the kill shot and send Andy in there.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm a threat to Jeremy. I hope you don't miss.
That was tough.
Blue team and Andy, come get your black aprons.
Andy, you missed out being up in the gallery with the rest of your team. So we'll let you choose the dueling pairs, including the person who'll go head-to-head with you.
Okay.
I don't want my future to be in Andy's hands. I don't want my future to be in anybody's hands right now.
The first pairing will be making the capunti, which they will serve with a tomato sauce. Andy, which pair will be making it?
Capunti. The pair that will be making this is myself, and I'll invite Barry to join me as well. Barry's gonna be a tough competitor. He's a great cook, but but I've seen him cook in a couple pressure tests, and he gets a little bit frazzled. So I think I can take Barry down in this challenge, but it's not gonna be easy.
A little insulted, but I'm not scared to cook against anybody. Bring it on, brother.
Who are you going to choose to make the lorigitas in the butter and herb sauce?
For the lorigitas, I'm going to choose May and Andre. May and Andre, they're both absolutely major threats in this competition. I would love to see one of them bumped out.
That means Jen and Andrew will be tackling the trophy along with the pesto sauce. You can all go to your stations now.
We provided you with the highest quality, German-made Miele appliances. And you will have 25 minutes to make, shape, and cook your pasta. Wow.
Are you ready to duel?
Yes.
Yes, chef.
Well, your time starts now!
Come on, guys.
Let's go, guys.
Let's go. You got this.
For me, this is such an exciting challenge because we've never actually made a pasta that is hand-shaped with this degree of difficulty.
Oh, come on.
There's only 2 ingredients, flour and water. I think this is very much a technique-driven challenge.
To me, the most important part of the dough, I think, is having that hydration level at that proper point where it's gonna give you the drag on the board, it's not gonna stick anywhere, and you're gonna be able to achieve great texture and a great look to the pasta.
There you go.
The 25 minutes is a little worrisome, but I'm just gonna put every ounce of effort I got into pulling this off. We gotta do what we gotta do. My strategy to beat Barry here is work fast and really start pushing my flavor with my basil and tomato sauce.
I see Andy as one of the front runners, but it doesn't scare me to cook against him. The first 20 shifts I ever worked in a restaurant, my job was to hand roll the pasta. So I know what I'm doing.
Barry, unfortunately, I'm gonna beat you today.
Old age and treachery, man. Always watch out for it.
Okay, Barry and Andy, please bring up your capunti with tomato sauce. Barry, I have to ask you, how do you feel about Andy picking you as the one to go head-to-head with in this duel?
Obviously, he felt I'm going to be the easiest one to beat, and I hope he pays for that.
Andy, your uncooked capunti. Size variance within reasonable boundaries. Your cooked pasta. Your sauce is a little darker and deeper in color. Why do you think that is?
I went heavy with the basil.
The cook on the pasta, spot on.
Yes.
And you were happy with the flavors of the sauce?
I was happy with it.
Interesting. This is not going to be an easy decision. 2 very good capunti dishes. But the best capunti goes to Barry. The sauce gave you the edge. Andy, the sauce was not quite as fresh as I would have liked. Barry, well done.
Thank you, Chef. There is no greater feeling in this kitchen than walking up instead of out. That's the best dish I've ever cooked in this kitchen.
I'm a very competitive person, so to lose this challenge in that way was a slap in my face. I was on Team Red. They're all sitting up on the balcony relaxing, and I'm down here sweating bullets.
What do you got working there, Andy?
Almost like a baba ganoush, like an Italian-style baba ganoush.
Nice.
There we go, there we go.
It's kind of cool.
Hey there, Andy.
Chef, how we doing?
You are reinventing the eggplant parmigiana. How'd you feel about that?
I cook with a lot of vegetables at home, so I am feeling pretty comfortable that I'll be able to pull something off.
Take me through your ideas on what you're doing.
I love Middle Eastern food, so I'm kind of drawing from that. As soon as I see eggplant, I think baba ganoush. And then on top of that, we're gonna have some crispy eggplants, confit tomatoes, lemon ricotta, and then a Parmesan tuile that I'm gonna put on the top as well.
There are 2 other cooks in this kitchen going up against you.
Yeah.
Who out of those 2 you think is going to be your greatest challenge?
Both. I was in season 5 with Jen, and her growth is amazing. I'm very intimidated. Andre, he's a runner-up as well. He's incredible with flavors, so that scares me because he's major competition.
The bar is up here, and you've all got to get over it.
That's exactly it.
Good luck. I look forward to trying it. Thank you, Andy.
For me to go deep in this competition, I am going to have to prove to every single person up on the balcony that not only did I finish 2nd in season 5, I'm here to win this.
Keep it up, Andy.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Okay.
30 minutes! You only have 30 minutes left!
The time is just flying by.
Okay. This is gonna be tight.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
Oh, stop the clock!
What happened?
We know you're hard at work on your second course. But come on, guys. Who's ever heard of an Italian meal with only 2 courses?
Oh, please don't do it. Don't do it.
That's why we're adding one more, a contorno.
Oh my God.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
Oh, God.
Now you have 30 minutes to make your secante and add on a contorno.
A contorno is a vegetable or salad side dish. You can make anything you want, but it has to pair well with your secondi.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay, let's do it.
Your time starts now!
You really gotta hustle.
Oh, let's go. Take a look.
In only 30 minutes left, they now have 2 dishes. One they have to start from scratch, and the other one they need to get finished all on time.
Oh, my good God.
When you get a curveball, you are in a crisis. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate things. Just stay calm.
Trust it.
You know, in 7 seasons, we have seen that adversity brings the best out in most cooks we see.
Ooh.
Andy, how you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. That was quite a little trick you guys are playing on us there.
What are you making for your contorne?
They're gonna go for an orange and fennel salad with some fresh burrata.
Everyone has someone they think about that inspires them. Who inspires you?
My wife. She's been my #1 support. She's at home right now with my 2 little girls, so I can chase this.
Well, I'm gonna leave you to it. Focus.
Thank you, Chef. I left a lot at home, but I know it's worth it because the opportunity on the other side of this is enormous. So I am not gonna go down without a fight.
5 minutes, only 5 more minutes. Get it going. Remember, 2 plates, not 1.
Behind.
Keep going, guys. Keep
going. Good job, guys.
Awesome.
Oh, that's crispy.
My chicken is looking good.
Stressing me out. Try not to overcook that.
They are good, I think.
Okay, where's my salt? This is the messiest cook I ever did.
I just have to keep on putting one foot in front of the other and see what comes out.
1 minute. 1 more minute left. Come on. 1 more minute.
You got it.
Yeah.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up!
I love both the dishes. If this is the end of MasterChef for me, I'm proud of these dishes. It's all quite emotional. What comes out of you in these moments?
Andy, please bring both your dishes to the front.
Andy, what's going on with you?
There's moments that I'm questioning, should I be here? Am I good enough for this? And then I look at this, and whether I go home or not, I'm just really proud of myself.
Wow. Well, you're right to be proud of yourself.
Thank you, Chef.
So, tell me exactly what you did here.
So what we have along the bottom is a creamed charred eggplant. On top of that is crispy breaded eggplant, some lemon and thyme ricotta, confit cherry tomatoes, and finish with a Parmesan tuile.
This is sensational.
Thank you, Chef.
All the flavors, they work so well together. The ricotta, the tomatoes add that little pop of flavor and explosion in your mouth. The eggplant is fried perfectly. You took a vegetable and you turned it into 2 different applications on 1 plate. Really smart cooking.
Thank you, Chef.
I like the look of this, but I'm gonna let my fellow judges try this.
Thank you, Chef.
Presentation, Andy, is beautiful. Your contorne.
Here we have some fresh burrata, oranges, caramelized fennel, a little bit of balsamic glaze, as well as crispy capers.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Those flavor combinations work together so well. Without that orange, that balsamic glaze would have been just a tad too sweet. It is perfectly balanced. The only thing I sort of crave with this is maybe something a little bitter, like a radicchio leaf or an endive, and together, they are 2 dishes that really exceed and excel. This is restaurant food, restaurant presentation, and you are cooking like a master chef.
Chef.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Well done. done, Andy. Well done.
These judges have been so fundamentally important in my development as a cook, so I'm really proud to show them what I was able to do under this pressure. Before I left, I asked my daughter, what should I cook on MasterChef Canada? And she said, chocolate cake. So I am making a chocolate cake today, way outside my comfort zone, but I'm doing this for my daughter, Vivi. Season 5, I would have never touched a baking challenge, and this time I'm leaning right into it and just going for it. So today I'm going for a more classic layered cake. I want a really deep chocolatey buttercream. So I get the basil, cocoa powder, icing sugar, a little bit of almond milk, and whip that all together to make a super delicious buttercream. Next, I need to get cracking on this chocolate cake. Anytime you make substitutions for plant-based, you have to think of the science behind what you're taking away. For this chocolate cake, I'm substituting applesauce for eggs. It's adding in that additional moisture. And for buttermilk, I'm substituting almond milk and a little bit of vinegar. The vinegar actually curdles the almond milk and gives it a texture of buttermilk, helping with the rising of the cake itself. I still don't fully know exactly how I'm going to plate this cake. Plating for this challenge really does matter because the goal is to elevate comfort food. I have in my head a concept where I want to have a layered cake, but the cake is still feeling hot.
He's cutting it tight.
You can't put a hot cake on the plate because it will melt the icing. But I have a backup plan. I'm gonna take it in a modern direction.
Andy.
At the beginning of this challenge, I was thinking about more classic layered cake. But then I ended up in a modern direction. Kind of risky, it's a little bit different. I hope the judges will appreciate it. I made a death by chocolate and black bean cake. Buttercream icing, and a little bit of toasted coconut as well. This was made for my daughter.
It really is youthful and modern and current, but it still has that comforting look about it. The buttercream is so light and fluffy and not overly sweet. And I love the fact that you've added the black beans, a little bit of coconut for contrast and crunch and texture. It really is a delightful tribute to your daughter.
Thank you, Chef. I am making dessert, which is way outside my comfort zone. So I chose the pomelo and the mandolin. I feel good about the pomelo. It's kind of like grapefruit, a little bit like an orange. The pomelo is gonna be the base flavor for everything, and the mandolin is gonna be used for a lot of the garnishing. I'm doing a pomelo pop, so pomelo curd, gonna do a coconut crumb on top. We are going fast and hard on this one, but we are baking.
You know, I can't believe it. Andy is going for dessert one more time. I personally think there's a little bit of a feud between he and Christopher.
If it's going to be the battle of dessert, Christopher is going to give Andy a run for his money.
Andy, please bring up your dish.
I chose pomelo and mandolin. Call it a pomelo pop. You've got pomelo caviar, fresh pomelo. In the meringue, I also incorporated some of the pomelo zest, and then the citrus of the actual curd should pop with a lot of flavor. Exactly.
I love the little presentation you've done. It's very elegant, it's colorful, it's intriguing. So let's give this a good taste. That's really tasty.
Thank you, Chef.
The creaminess of that curd is really, really delightful.
Thank you so much, Chef.
I almost wonder whether this dish misses one element like a cookie, a wafer, something that's got a crunchy thing to it. But a great Andy original as far as I'm concerned, and I love the use of your pomelo.
Thank you, Chef.
Well done. When we say go, you will begin your mirepoix. You must fill your cup in the proportions indicated on the cup.
Your first round starts now!
I noticed that Taya is not peeling her carrots with a vegetable peeler. She's cutting through them. That's going to save her valuable seconds.
Andy's moved up the onions, and so has Christopher.
And Taya, too.
Andrew's just putting his carrot into his glass now.
And Taya now is the first to get onto her celery.
Taya is moving much faster than anyone in this challenge.
Looks like Christopher is gaining right here. It's neck and neck between Christopher, Taya, and look now, Andy is so close to getting done.
Okay, Christopher.
Christopher, well done. You're moving on to the next round.
Thanks, Chef.
Everyone else, start now.
I would say Andy and Taya are neck and neck. They are just millimeters away from filling that cup. I think Andy could steal it.
Oh. Taya, you're moving on.
I'm usually lightning fast in the kitchen. I gotta hurry up.
Continue the mirepoix now. Andy, you're moving on. I'm sorry, Andrew. You're out of skills test.
For this round, you must open up as many coconuts as it takes to fill your cup to the line with coconut water. Then you must harvest the meat from one of the coconuts.
The second round starts now.
Oh.
Look at Christopher. He is tearing through those coconuts.
Andy's removing the meat. I think we have a winner.
Thank you, Chef.
Taya, Andy, the coconut challenge continues now.
Stop.
Andy, you're moving on.
Thank you, Chef.
Unfortunately, Taya, you're not going on to the final round of the skills test.
I'm playing for an advantage, and I want to make sure that I have it.
This is the best advantage to have in the entire season.
All three proteins are in front of you. The roast and chicken need to be trussed, just as we showed you earlier.
The trout must be gutted and stuffed with lemon and herbs before you truss it.
For this round, you'll both be given 10 minutes. Do you understand?
Yes, Chef.
Start trussing now.
You know, trussing is a tricky technique. If you cinch those knots too tight, it really makes that roast not pleasant to the eyesight. If you have it too loose, it doesn't do the job it's supposed to, keep everything nicely in shape. Andy's on the final step of trussing his roast. He's taking the long length of string. Now he'll loop every single stitch so the front matches the back. A final knot. And he's moving on to the chicken. The first step is actually taking those wing tips and bending them down so those little tips sit underneath the wing bone where the breast is attached to the wing itself. Christopher's now off onto the chicken. Andy's struggling with it right now. Christopher's made up valuable time on that chicken. Now they are neck and neck.
I know that I have to tuck the wings somewhere, but there's no natural way that the chicken's wings bend.
You can see the frustration on Andy's face with those wings. They keep popping out. I think Christopher stole it. He has finished his chicken and onto his trout.
I cannot figure out how to fold these wings. So I'm just going to wrap a string around them and just hope for the best.
2 minutes. Christopher's got his herbs inside it.
Okay, Andy is scoring his fish on both sides. Now he should be moving on to his trussing.
1 minute. Come on, 1 more minute.
The thing with trout, they are extremely slippery.
15 seconds.
So those knots can move around.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up.
I'm looking down the line here, and my fish isn't bad. It's not totally the most beautiful thing ever. My chicken is a little off with the wings. The beef looks good. I'm pretty proud for what I was able to pull off in this 10 minutes.
Andy?
Chef.
Roast is complete with stitches. Not bad. See the chicken. You're having some wing problems.
Oh, was I ever? I was wrestling with them.
Again, you could have had the trussing a little tighter.
Yeah.
Have those legs sit up, pinch at the breast.
Yeah.
These wings need to be turned back the other way so the little tips tuck right underneath
Front.
here.
Okay.
Trout. You've got the fish stuffed, scored, cleaned, and with the trussing, there's a little variation in the tail.
I'm hoping that maybe my roast is a little better than him, or maybe my chicken is a little bit better than him.
We do have a winner. Congratulations. Andy.
Yes.
Your trussing skills are superior.
Thank you, Chef.
This means you will have the advantage in the elimination challenge.
To go through a pressure test like this and come out victorious feels amazing. 8 people, that's gonna be way more than enough. All right.
Andy,
Chef.
what are you doing?
So I'm lucky to have the best friends in the world. There was a group of 6 of us that traveled to Spain, and one of the best dishes that we had over there was patatas bravas. You have it everywhere. So I've got some mini potatoes here that I'm going to confit in some duck fat. I've got octopus in the pressure cooker that I'm gonna slice very thin. And then I've got a very rich paprika tomato sauce.
Isn't this supposed to be an Italian-themed menu?
So I'm using more Italian-style ingredients, but coming from like a Spanish mindset. Try to embrace my friends here.
Patatas bravas is heavy, not a very light dish. Make sure that these bravas are light, ethereal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's gonna be a very heavy menu.
I agree, Chef. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, Chef. Beautiful. We got the octopus done there.
Andy is preparing patatas bravas. He has the 3rd course.
Patatas bravas is a Spanish-inspired dish and often served as a little tapas. It's not really an element that you would serve in a sophisticated tasting menu.
Okay. I know that the approach that I'm taking within this tasting menu is gonna stand out. It's an Italian tasting menu and I'm going with a Spanish dish. But this dish is me. I zig when others zag. I love just being a little bit different. So I wanna go the full way. I'm gonna pack this full of flavors, tons of citrus, tons of textural elements, just to stand out as much as I can.
30 seconds! You have 30 seconds left. Come on. We want beautiful plates full of details. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up.
Andy, we're ready for our 3rd course.
Wonderful.
And that's you.
Be right back. I hate confrontation, and this is so stressful. I know what's coming. Gloves are gonna be off. If you made a mistake, people are definitely gonna let you know.
Oh my.
Chefs, hope you enjoy. This is not a dinner party to me. This is an exam, and that just makes my skin crawl. Chef, today I made a play on patatas bravas with confit crispy potatoes, garlic and lemon aioli on bottom, some sliced in octopus, radish, a little bit of manchego, and then bartuga. I think I missed the Italian a little bit here, but this is where my brain went. So lots of components, lots of different flavors, very much a Andy dish here.
Christopher, what do you think of Andy's dish?
Well, I really like his play on the patatas bravas here. Those potatoes are nice and crispy. I really like that combination of that garlic aioli with that beautiful paprika and tomato sauce. The cook time on the octopus could be a little bit longer. I did find it a little bit chewy, and the radicchio garnish as well added a bitterness, but not enough freshness to the dish, and this dish is very rich.
Yeah.
I do agree with Chris that my octopus was a little bit tough. I loved all the textures and how they combined together, but not the octopus. And he did take a little detour away from Italy.
I think I probably would have added just a little bit more citrus because it is kind of heavy, and I like things a bit salty, so maybe just a tiny bit more salt.
Yeah,
but other than that, I think it's great. It's tasty.
Yeah.
Patatas bravas, obviously not Italian, but for me, I would have liked one of the octopus tentacles whole so that it presented it nicely, and then you know that that's the star as opposed to like a garnish. Otherwise, not bad.
Sure, there was a couple missteps, but I think that this dish represents who I am.
What I'm getting from this dish, for me, is your attitude. I think the dish is very bold. There's a little rebel inside of this dish. I wish that it would have had a little more refinement. I think you should have cut the potatoes differently. The octopus should have been one whole tentacle coming off, grilled and charred.
Andy, I like the dish a lot. It's got great flavor. The octopus, I agree, if it were cut a little bigger, a greater presence to it, and maybe just a touch more botarga.
Yeah.
But a nice, flavorful, well-rounded dish.
I'm not bothered at all by the detour. I think as long as it's a very tasty dish, I don't care where it comes from. But overall, you know, I like the dish because I think it complements May's dish because her dish was more delicate and your dish was more rustic. They're very different in texture, but this is what a tasting menu means, complementing each other.
Perfect. Thank you, Chef.
The fabulous ingredients you'll be working with for this challenge are onion, carrot.
I start seeing root vegetables coming out, and I'm just like, what is the deal?
Cabbage, and beet.
This challenge is all about taking ordinary and turning it into extraordinary. Each of these ingredients in skillful hands can inspire an array of truly astonishing dishes.
Andy, you won the skills challenge. So you get the power. You will decide which cook gets which ingredient. And you get first pick.
I'm gonna take the carrots. I think they're a very versatile vegetable that you can do a lot with. That one is the one that's talking to me. I am going to assign the onions to Taya. Taya cooks with a lot of color, and that's tricky to get out of the onion. I'm gonna give the cabbage to
The cabbage is my worst nightmare.
Andrew.
Andrew, you look very, very happy about that.
I am. The cabbage is something I grew up eating a lot, and I know so many applications for it.
So, Christopher, that means you end up with beets.
Beet is a pretty good ingredient for me. It's a vegetable that I feel comfortable using. It's something I eat at home a lot as well.
Please take your ingredients and head to your stations.
We provided you with the highest quality, German-made Miele appliances.
The intensity is so incredibly high. It is, I mean, you can hear a pin drop in the kitchen.
Remember, the ordinary ingredient that you've been assigned must play a prominent role in all 3 dishes.
I cannot afford to make a single mistake. If I could step into that finale, it would be a dream come true.
We're expecting to see extraordinary concepts, and your flavors need to sing.
Can I show up today? Can I push myself? Can I pull this off? I'm exhausted, but I still have more left in the tank. Let's just hope it's enough.
Andy, how you doing?
Chef, I'm doing all right over here.
So you had first pick. Do you think the carrots are the easiest vegetable to showcase?
I think that it was the one that I had by far the most experience with. I cook with carrots all the time.
What are you making?
I'm gonna do some carrot ginger stuffed dumplings. I've got a carrot red curry with a crispy duck skin. And then I'm gonna do this delicious honey brown butter roasted carrots with Sicilian pistachios on there to make it look almost like a mossy log. I cook comfort food at home, so this is not the style food that I cook. So I'm just gonna do my best to be more delicate.
So not only did you get first choice, you picked carrots for yourself, you also made the decision on who gets what vegetable.
Yeah.
Who were you trying to undermine?
Everybody. Everyone's amazing at this point. It's very hard to trip anybody up.
Keep it up. I think you're going in the right direction.
Thank you, Chef. Okay, where am I at?
What am I doing?
30 minutes left! 30 minutes!
Holy smokes, I'm making a lot today.
Both Andy and Taya are in exactly the same position. They almost got the title. They're former finalists. They were so close to it, they could taste it. They're both making dumplings. The difference, though, is Taya is making her own dumpling wrappers. Andy has chosen to use store-bought dumpling wrappers.
You're not gonna get the softness, so you gotta be very careful when you cook it.
There's gonna have to be sacrifices, and choosing the pre-made dumpling wrapper is one that I have to make. I hope the judges enjoy the big, bold Southeast Asian flavors. This could be exceptionally risky.
1 minute! Come on, get in there! Guys. Get it on the plate! One more minute, last minute!
Don't cut your finger.
Get everything in there!
Make the humble shine.
I'm so nervous. I think this is possibly the worst plating that I've presented all season.
I need water.
Andy, bring up your dishes for tasting, please.
I hope these dishes are enough to get me into the finale. I hope that the carrot sings. I did a brown butter honey pistachio crumb carrot. In the center, we have red carrot coconut curry. And on the far end, carrot, ginger, soy, dumpling, and fried carrot tops.
It's colorful plate of dumplings. It's got some crispy. I assume you got some pickles in there. So you got a lot going on there. It's very pleasant. When I look at it, I say, wow. Did you make your own dumpling wrap?
I did not.
Why not?
Rush for time, no excuse there.
Well, look at the fill. Looks nice. Andy, I'm impressed. You honored the Chinese dumpling. The filling, amazing. I taste the carrots, I taste a lot of the Chinese spices, but not overpowering the carrot, which is essentially the star.
This gorgeous looking dish of roasted carrots, it really looks so elegant. So you slow roasted these, intensify the sweetness.
Exactly.
I love the pistachio carrots, the way they're cooked. Beautiful and tender, just with a firm center, coated with that honey, the crackly, crunchy pieces from the pistachio. I would only like to have seen maybe a touch of vinaigrette made from the juiced carrot. It would have just sort of been the crowning jewel.
Yeah.
That is a class act.
Thank you, Chef.
I'm gonna try the red carrot curry. The cook on the duck is pretty textbook. It's nicely rested. The carrot gets lost a little bit in that curry. The curry flavors are very powerful. I love the placement of 3 carrot applications on one plate, but I think it needs a little more carrot in the sauce. Otherwise, I think the dish is very smart.
Thank you, Chef. I don't know if I did enough. Yeah, I don't know.
Usually, you'd have more support in that gallery. Due to pandemic travel restrictions, your families can't be here tonight. But they most certainly are sending their love.
Hi, Boo Bear. Once again, you're taking us on this wild and crazy ride. We're so proud of you and so glad that you've been able to make it this far.
Good luck. Knock 'em dead. Cheers.
Love you.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Daddy. We miss you so much.
Lucy's almost walking. She's got a couple new teeth. Violet's been taking care of your garden. Can't wait for you to get home. It's been absolute chaos here. Please come home soon.
Daddy, I hope you win.
Oh my goodness.
Go and win it, Andy. We miss you.
So sweet. So, Andy, what was it like to see Jessica with Violet and baby Lucy?
It's so fun. I miss them so much. I can't wait to get back to regular life, putting the girls to bed, reading them books, helping poor Jess out. It's been a long time. It's gonna all come down to timing. I'm a very, very proud East Coaster. What makes me the most proud is East Coast hospitality, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do with my dishes today. I'm gonna be taking the judges to the cottage and showing them an East Coast time.
You know, Andy really shows tremendous resilience because he has probably had to work the hardest out of all of the cooks.
He's cooked in almost every challenge.
He keeps coming back, though, stronger, much faster, more experienced.
That battle hardening could play to his advantage.
Andy,
how are we doing, Chef?
Did you ever think you would be back in a MasterChef Canada finale?
Not in a million years.
Walk me through your first course.
So anywhere you go on the East Coast, you're gonna find incredible seafood platters. So we've got pan-fried scallops, some cornmeal fried oysters, we're gonna have some pickled mussels, some green apple vin to lighten it up, and a big dollop of caviar to get the party rolling.
Just remember one thing, though. Make sure they're not too rustic. Elevate your dishes.
100%.
Push yourself.
Thanks, Chef.
You're doing great, Andy.
10 minutes! 10 minutes to your first course!
Okay, where am I at? Back home, if you order a seafood platter, it's basically a pile of fried seafood. I need to make this refined.
I'm worried. Andy has a lot of different seafood for his appetizer dish.
It has more moving parts than the other two home cooks.
Last up is Andy's appetizer, a seafood platter containing seared scallop, crispy oysters, pickled mussels, and an apple vinaigrette with caviar.
I like his simple approach to the plating. It is clean and tidy. I love the beautiful green vinaigrette on the bottom. That really is a back foil that shows off the gorgeous seafood.
I love the different flavors coming out. The scallop perfectly cooked. The pickled mussel, well done. The acidity goes very nice with the texture and the umami coming from the mussel. And the green apple is a nice touch. It's a very strong dish in terms of both taste and execution.
The caviar I thought was a great touch. It really shows luxury and confidence. I think this is one of his crowning moments.
Hustle, hustle.
While the judges were tasting, the cooks have been pressing ahead with the entrees.
I'm making an East Coast lobster roll with a compressed choux paste as the bun, salt and vinegar potato chips, and a Tidal Bay sauvignon. To get started on the lobster, I'm doing a quick blanch on the tails and then break them out of the shells. Next up, I'm placing my lobster tails into a vac pack, and then I add in tarragon, butter, white wine, salt. The lobster roll is Nova Scotia, and I'm so excited to be able to elevate this so that the judges love it too.
20 minutes! Only 20 minutes left!
I'm a little stressed out right now.
Geez, the bomb went off here. Next up, I start working on the choux pastry for my lobster roll.
Choux pastry can be very tricky. If it's too cold and you add the eggs won't mix in well and it'll affect the light, fluffy texture.
That's not how it's supposed to look. Oh, this choux pastry looks like a soup.
Oh my God.
My choux paste didn't stick for some reason, didn't work.
Take a breath, Andy.
It just didn't work. This is an integral piece to my entire main course. So I'm making this choux pastry again. You're gonna get this, you got this, you got this, you got this.
I don't know if he's got time for that.
If this choux pastry doesn't work, I am gonna lose this finale, for sure. I think I didn't let the dough cool down enough after coming out of the pan. This is throwing a major wrench in my plans, but I don't have an option. I need to get this redone as fast as I can.
Andy's doing the right thing by restarting it.
You're gonna get this, you got this, you got this. So I just take a deep breath, get back in there, and fight. Oh, it worked. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Oh, that's 100 times better, Andy.
Let's get this in the oven and move on.
The first entree up for tasting is Andy's, a lobster roll on a compressed choux bun with salt and vinegar chips and a white wine sauvignon.
I love the presentation. He has basically taken apart the lobster roll, put it back together again, but in a beautiful way.
I've never seen a lobster roll quite like this. The sabayon is beautiful. It's very light, very ethereal. The lobster is cooked to perfection. Unfortunately for me, I feel like he cheapened the dish by putting a choux pastry underneath it. It feels more like an appetizer than a main course.
I think had he put something in the choux pastry, a little bit of cheese or lemon zest, it would have just tipped it over the edge for me. But otherwise, the lobster is beautifully cooked, and the sauvignon sauce, that balance of acidity, creaminess, nicely seasoned, absolute delight.
This is the end of the night at the cottage with Andy. For dessert is one of my favorite desserts in the world, a blueberry grunt. An East Coast classic that at home we'll eat around the campfire.
There you go, Andy.
In the oven.
Hey, Andy. So you're doing a blueberry grunt. How are you gonna elevate it?
We have a lemon blueberry cake in the oven. I'm gonna smoke a compote.
Yeah.
I've got a meringue that I'm gonna toast, similar to around the campfire, so that marshmallow flavor.
Great idea.
I also have a lemon gelato disc that will sit over everything and be able to peer down through, that will have flowers and blueberries on top.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that gelato ring, okay?
Can't wait for you to try it. The sheet pan of gelato is totally frozen solid. So I take a cookie cutter, the hot thing's super hot, and punch out beautiful little discs of gelato.
Doing great, Andy. Looking good.
This gelato disc is 100% the most important part of this dessert. It adds a modern element to it that the traditional blueberry grunt doesn't have.
5 minutes! Last 5 minutes! Get your presentation on now!
Plating time.
Cake comes out of the oven, and now I'm toasting it with butter and thyme just to elevate the flavor.
Ooh, it's hot in this kitchen.
I'm waiting to the very last minute to plate those gelato discs so it doesn't melt. It's gonna be decorated with powdered and fresh blueberries.
1 minute! Your last minute in this kitchen!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness!
That's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Looking good.
That looks so
Looking real good.
cool.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's up!
It was a very difficult cook, but I didn't give up, and I got the dishes on the plate, and each plate that I served looked spectacular.
Andy, tell us about your dessert.
This is a classic blueberry grunt. We have a smoked blueberry compote, a blueberry lemon cake toasted with butter and thyme, toasted marshmallow, and lemon curd underneath the lemon gelato disc on top.
I have never seen a blueberry grunt looking this good. It is often heavy and stodgy looking. It's a humble, humble dessert. Yet this is a thing of beauty.
Thank you.
I tell you, you have elevated it. The lemon gelato ring gives it acidity, but the sponge cake was heavy. I would have soaked it with a nice rum. It would have given it more depth.
I think you've nailed the presentation. The flavors are very elevated. I love the blueberry. Instead of just the flowers on top, maybe a little bit of a zest of lemon, just to make it pop a little more. But that's so minor. It looks like you're giving Christopher a run for his money.